Welcome back to Chris Greenhill's Garage. I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm actually going to make him do even more stuff this time. You're going to have to work the boy. You prepared?
No.
Lazy.
Yes.
This is it. If you're watching this video, more than likely, my car, Project White Trash, my 1988 Ford Mustang GT, will have probably started up and run. More than likely. I can't imagine me posting this video if I completely failed like usual. If I end up failing, I think seppuku is a viable option at this point. I'm not sure life is worth living if I can't make a small block Ford start and run. But hopefully, if you're watching this, it's not in memory of me, but celebrating along with me as White Trash starts and runs and idles. So off camera, this guy tells me that he would be more than happy to be the samurai who helps me commit seppuku. What a terrible person. God. All right. Anyway, I have a final checklist of things I need to do over the course of the next few days to hopefully get White Trash to start and fire and run. So we're going to get to that. So join us. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. First thing we've got to do is Junior is going underneath the car. We sort of forgot to install the dipstick when we installed the engine and the headers and everything else. So we now have a hole in our Moroso oil pan. We got to get this in there. You ready, boy?
No, because we didn't forget to install anything.
We definitely forgot it. Stop trying to blame other people's for your failures, boy. Junior's putting in our adapter, our clamp in the oil pan. We're going to figure out which header tube this needs to go in between and figure out where to mount it. We finally got that thing threaded. Junior's in there tightening down right now. That was not fun. That was very difficult to get in there and get the angle on that. Pro tip, install your dipstick and your threading and all your stuff while the engine is out of the car. The combination of these long tube headers, solid motor mounts, this aftermarket oil pan have made this a horrible mess. I can't even get an angle to zoom in on it, but right there in between primary tube 7 and 8 on the header, it looks like this will have to go in there, which means we're going to have to put some custom bends in it because this just hits the engine block. Ooh, yeah, this needed to be done while the engine was out of the car for sure. It's about an hour later. We have essentially given up on the Moroso dipstick. It wasn't even close. This is the factory 1988 dipstick. It is at least touching the adapter, and we're only a couple of degrees off from it. Hopefully just a little bit more custom bending and we can have that in. We have the factory dipstick almost lined up, giving it a little bit of love taps with the dead blow hammer, trying to get it to go all the way in and seat. Hey, it's moving. Is it going in?
It's going in, yeah.
We have finally got the stock dipstick tube to go in, but there are so many twists and turns and bends, you have to really fight it. But it goes in the oil. It mostly comes out, and we have an oil reading on the end of the dipstick, just a little. Good enough for now. It's good enough to start it up, and we'll have to worry about the rest later. We can't get the tube to completely seat in there. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the full, it's actually registering full. So that's not bad. It's actually the proper depth. We can tell we've got oil, and we've got plenty of oil. We can tell there's 7 quarts in a 7-quart pan. So I declare this good enough. Moving on. I'll have to come in here, put some kind of custom bracket on here to hold this thing in place. Right now, it is friction locked in place between the headers and the head in the oil pan. So it just is what it is. If the janky nature of our oil dipstick tube install surprises you, welcome to Chris Greenhill's Garage. It's clearly your first time. The next step is testing the fuel pump and make sure it actually works and draws fuel. And don't ask me why I didn't do this when it was out of the car before. I get to take it off now and do it because I was not thinking ahead. Oink the fuel pump, boy.
How?
There you go. Do it again. Push against your leg or something. All right. Sounds healthy. All right. Now we'll put in some fuel and make sure it actually draws fuel. Might take a little while to get fuel out of the can. Heard it trying to draw. Keep going. I hear fluid going in the pump. Oh yeah, it's spraying fuel out somewhere. Oh, you got the hose crimped. Oh, we got a leak. But it is drawing fuel. Test successful. It draws gasoline. Pulls it in that side, pumps it out that side. Going back on the engine. Almost panicked. I forgot these had locking gas caps and I couldn't get this open. Then I remembered they have a manual pull tab in here, so we're going to put gas in the tank. First time in 26 years. Oh shit, making a big mess. That's good. We've got gas in the tank now. Now we're going to hook this up to our fuel lines and prime this pump. And I totally remembered to do this before I reinstalled the pump. Yes, I did, boy. See if we can get the fuel pump to draw fuel out of our gas tank. Here's something. After multiple attempts to try to prime the fuel pump, and we were just sucking air, Junior came back here and discovered he could hear air being sucked back here. Didn't even notice they gave me the wrong fuel filter. It does not have a 3/8 barb. It has a 5/16, and I can't tighten this hose down enough on it. So it is drawing fuel now. I turned this down to where the fuel would flow out rather than up. But it is drawing fuel, but I'm going to take this fuel filter out since it's the wrong size. And I'm going to put a piece of 3/8 barb connector in here. Hopefully we can seal that up and prime the fuel pump. Parts store running Junior's car. Let's see if I can redeem myself. Hopefully this thing starts. First try. Getting Junior a little bit of seat time in his own car. First time in a little while. All right, got a new larger fuel filter on here. Gonna aim this hose down. Hopefully it'll draw fuel easier. And the boy is gonna go prime the pump while I watch for leaks. Go ahead, boy. I'm not hearing the air sucking sound that we had back here earlier. No fuel is leaking out of the filter. So hopefully we're gonna get some fuel to the front of the car here soon. Oh, it took a lot of pumping. We finally got fuel coming out of the pump. All right. All right, we finally got the fuel pump back on. We left the inlet hose connected to it, so it's already in prime. And I just realized this is one of those crappy little 5/16 connectors here on the outlet to the regulator. So we're not quite ready to prime this thing up and test it up the carburetor yet, so hopefully that's not going to be a problem, but it probably will with our luck. It's the next day. We're back here. I realized crawling under the car and looking at things under there, I probably want to get the clutch cable done while I've got a little help here. So Junior's inside the car, disconnecting it from the pedal now. It's just sitting in there, and I need to take it out and measure some things, get under the car, and see if I can get it to engage and whether or not the headers are going to clear the clutch fork and all that nonsense. All right, I got the clutch cable run. All right, boy, push it in. Go all the way down, all the way up. Push it in and out a few times. I want to see the clutch throw on it. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Is that going all the way down?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's not much of a throw down here. All right, let me come up there and feel it. Not that you can see it around the harness, but that does not feel like a normal clutch throw. I'm not sure if that's going to be the clutch itself or the fact that it's kind of riding on the header or something's misadjusted in the pedal. I mean, it feels like it's working, but it just doesn't feel right. There is definitely a lot of slack in this clutch cable. It looks like it's completely adjusted as far as it can be adjusted. It still needs more. I may have to come up here and shim this end of it or something, but that's going to be a future Kris problem. This thing isn't moving for a while. We're going to prime the engine here in just a moment, pump it all up with oil. I realized we had a problem here recently when I went to mess with the engine. I realized we didn't have any valve cover gaskets in this thing. So I went to put the valve cover gaskets on, and I bumped one of the rockers, and the rocker just popped off. It was completely loose. So my guess is either we did not set the rockers previously, or we set them and the lifters have just deflated and unpumped so much and lost so much oil pressure that everything's loose now. So we're going to pump everything up and reset the roller rockers as soon as he gets the valve cover off. First one I came to check to make sure this is the right size wrench was just completely hand loose. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. Go ahead, boy. Yeah, good oil pressure. All right. Let's just make sure that there's oil coming out of every one. We've got oil coming up. We'll bump it over a little. Cycle all the cylinders. Make sure we get oil in every single one. Yeah, they're all filling up with oil now on this side. Let me check the other side.
Oh, the drill's smoking.
Oh, I think we burned out our drill, but all of these have oil, it looks like. Yeah, so we're good over here. All right, we got great oil pressure. That's good enough. Now we got to reset the rockers. Got the boy adjusting my adjustable 1.6 trick flow roller rockers. He's going to set them. And we're on cylinder number 3 out of 8. And as soon as we're done with this, we're going to roll it over a few times again with oil and move on. All right. Kris just brought up a point, asked a great question. He said, hey, aren't we going to get fuel pressure flowing into the carburetor by turning the engine over with the fuel pump hooked up? And yes, we should be. Good question, boy. Good job spotting that. Unfortunately, we've gotten nothing yet, which means either our pump is back to not pulling fuel, or really good odds, our regulator is just returning it all to the tank and not letting any through. Either way, for now, that's fine. That'll be a problem later. I guess we'll go ahead and investigate this fuel problem now. There's no leaks up here. There's nothing wet up here. Nothing leaking from the fuel pressure regulator. But I'm going to go ahead and pull the return line off the bottom and see if there's any fuel coming out of the regulator. The bottom of the fuel pressure regulator is bone dry, which means not a single drop of gas has made it through the pump, even though we left it fully primed yesterday. That's not good. Well, this is fun. We've been turning the engine over for a while and cannot get any fuel to draw at all, after we just primed this yesterday and had it working just fine. I guess we'll have to manually prime it again and check for leaks in the system again, and because even though we don't want it pumping into the carburetor right now, we need it pumping. So we'll take that line off the carburetor, run it into a gas can, see if we can get this thing to prime. After a whole lot of manual priming, we finally have fuel coming out down there, and I can't really do this one-handed, nope, but we do have gas coming out from over there. It's just not very much. We have no pressure whatsoever. Let me check the regulator. We got very little fuel coming out of this. The same exact fuel pump in Junior's car. Spray gas all the way across the yard, manually pumping it. And this thing's just dribbling gasoline. So we put the pump back on the car, and we're going to try to turn it over with the engine and see if any gas comes out. Oops. We have been turning this thing over electronically for a while, and not a drop has come out. We got a little bit doing it by hand, but not a drop rolling it over with the engine. I'm not sure what is going on here. We don't really have to deal with fuel pressure today, but it would be nice to get this out of the way so we can move on. We have disconnected the fuel pressure regulator completely, and we're going to see if this will pump a little bit of fuel on its own into the gas can. Nothing?
No, not a thing.
Good God. It occurred to me we may just not have enough gas in the gas tank for the sump to be full. So I added some more gas to it. We were able to manually prime the pump and gas was coming out. So now we're going to try it with the engine again. And I did double check. The concentric's in there and it is moving the pump. Let's see. It is just dribbling, isn't it?
Yep.
That is not pumping crap. I don't know what is going on with this thing. The moment we stop pumping the fuel pump by hand, it quits working at all. We pumped up, we primed it by hand, we put it on the engine, fired it with the engine, and nothing comes out. It's completely bone dry. So I've got to think something with the fuel pump eccentric and the fuel pump arm isn't lined up. Something's wrong with it. I'm going to take it back off and try to look up in there and see if I can see any problems. I'm having to do this so I can look at the fuel pump eccentric because I can't see it with the naked eye. Pretty sure it's turning because there's oil on the fuel pump arm. Yes, the eccentric is in there. It is working properly. Some reason it is not engaging properly with the arm of the fuel pump. Even though there's oil on the arm of the fuel pump, it is not spinning and pumping gas from the engine. We found the problem. Despite my best efforts, this was still sucking air and leaking right here, and I realized it when a couple of drops of gas got on my hand. The problem is this fuel pump does not come with a 3/8 barb. It has a 5/16. So I really had to crush that hose on there tight. But now when we're pumping it, we're getting good flow. Actual gasoline spraying out of it. Hopefully when we put it back on the car, we'll have the same result. We've made no changes, but bolt the pump back to the engine. Let's see if we get any fuel flow. You ready, buddy?
Yep. We're good.
Oh, listen to that flow. Hold it up out of the canister like an inch so I can see it. Let's see. All right, finally. Oh, thank God. Amateur mistake, the boy, not tightening things tight enough. Why did you do that, boy?
I don't know. Why'd you do that?
You're blaming me. How dare you?
Yes.
The reality is that is my fault. All my fault. Shut up, boy. He's nodding his head yes, but that really is all my fault. I'm the one who installed those and did that and screwed that up. And I just got done telling him how the tiniest, most insignificant little pinhole would suck enough air to destroy your fuel system. Rookie mistake.
Like how the tiniest, most innocent like you can ruin the fuel system.
Boy, now that we know the fuel pump is pumping and sealed, let's see if any fuel comes out of the regulator.
Hey,
We're leaking bad somewhere.
through the pump.
From the pump?
Yeah.
Like the body of the pump? Oh crap, that is the body of the pump. It was leaking so bad we can't even really tell where it's leaking from. We think it might be this fitting here, this brass fitting. I tightened it down as tight as humanly possible with a wrench. Seems to have slowed the leaking, but we're going to try it again and see if it still leaks. So that is still dripping and we cannot get it to stop. However, check this out. Good fuel flow. So the system as a whole is working. We just need to figure out how to make that stop dripping. I don't think it's the body of the pump. I think it's that fitting right there. The problem is going to be this fitting here. When you tighten it down, it does not really tighten down. It goes all the way in and it's still loose, and I didn't realize that. So we're going to try to replace this with something that fits better. I have two of these and neither one of them fit, no matter what we do, no matter how much Teflon tape we put on them. So I'm going to try this guy. Appears the threads are a little oversized and it only goes in a little ways. Teflon tape it and see what we can do with that thing. We got that other fitment on there with all the Teflon tape, and we now have good fuel flow. All right. Pop quiz the boy. Is there such thing as too much Teflon tape?
No.
Good job. Next up is a compression test. Roll it over, boy. Stop. Just 90? What on earth? That's super strange. Lift up that carburetor and see if there's something blocking the air intake.
Maybe a piece of styrofoam?
There is. Take that off there. It needs airflow through the engine. Try that again.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is that sound? Stop. What on earth? Only 95 to 100 psi at most. That's not good. Wonder if we're hanging valves open or something. Wonder if we over tighten the rockers or something. Definitely have an odd sound coming from the engine when we're doing this. We're going to try to figure that out. Let's try another cylinder. Fire it, boy. Stop. That one's got 130 something. Huh, weird. Wonder if these valves are misadjusted. Backed off the rockers like 1/8 of a turn. Fire it again, boy. Stop. Tried adjusting the rockers on number 1 to see if I'm hanging a valve open or something. Still getting the same reading every time. I'm going to go ahead and check all the cylinders. Number 2 has 120 to 125. Number 3 has 120. We've already seen that number 4 has 125 or so. On to the other side. Number 8 has about 110. 110-ish. Man. Number 7's got about 110 also. Number 6 has right at 120. Number 5, the 2 front cylinders, barely touching over 90, like 94, 95. So both front cylinders are down. What is going on with that? Readjusted the rockers on cylinder number 1, running the valve covers down. We were not careful. We have oil all over the exhaust, so that'll be fun when we start it up. But we're going to seal it up and call it a day here in a moment. We're going to reset cylinder number 1 to top dead center and stab the distributor and get this thing ready to fire here soon. That's all for today. I must go and ponder the meaning of life and why my front two cylinders are down on compression. You know, the important stuff. I'll be back later. It's a week later. I've been talked down off the ledge by Stephen Holtz from Just Drive It and my friend Johnny. Reminded that the engine hasn't been fired yet, the rings may not be seated, and the compression could come up. Although I'm not overly optimistic having low compression on two cylinders. But anyway, moving on. Finally found my spark plugs. Those things have been MIA for about 2 weeks. I can finally get those things in. Actually, I'm not sure these are the spark plugs I was looking for. They don't look right. They look more used. These might be the old used one out of Junior's car. I'm not sure. Oh well, they're going in. All 8 spark plugs are in, and they were incredibly easy in these heads. That was a pleasant surprise. Now on to spark plug wires. I definitely own enough spark plug wires. The thing is, it's all the leftovers from multiple old broken sets, and I definitely don't have 9 that match. I guess I'll just go through and see what I can come up with. Found an entire set of these old blues, which I believe were what was on the car originally. Well, I found the 8 actual spark plug wires. I can't find the matching coil wire. So I've got more than one set of these grays, but I'm going to see if I can get it to run with these blues. They'll look a little bit better. I might even go clean them up. I'm not sure. I tried to clean them up a little bit. It didn't really work. These are heavily oil crusted and stained. So let's just hope that beauty is only skin deep and that they still work internally. These blue spark plug wires have very, very short, tiny little boots on them. These things barely want to clear these trick flow heads and barely engage the spark plugs. That may not work. I'm going to try them. They are clipping on, but they're very short and they're touching the heads. They're not touching the headers, so that's good, but I think that might be an issue. I absolutely hate how much slack these spark plug wires have in them, but it'll work for now. As long as it fires and runs and idles and everything, it just is what it is. I'll have to zip tie these up out of the way to keep them off the headers. This is ridiculous. No V8 needs that long of a wire. Good grief. And yes, I absolutely marked the firing order on the distributor cap. I don't care what you think. I like that, and I don't care how ugly it looks. I want quick reference. I want to be able to put this together without relying on memory and being able to screw it up. If this thing starts and runs and idles and is healthy, then here soon I'll invest in a set of custom length cut to fit spark plug wires for it. But for now, this will work. I also came and marked each spark plug wire to its corresponding cylinder for quick reference. Again, I don't care how stupid you think that is. And I went through and put some zip ties on them. I didn't even do the really cool zip tie trick that everyone does with the individual dividers. It's not worth it at this point. This one's so long, I brought it around the valve cover, zip tied it to this, and ran it down. Ridiculous. But anyway, this thing is almost ready to fire up, at least electronically. I'm supposed to fire this thing up in a couple of days, and I just realized the carburetor's just been sitting here. So I finally got a gasket, took the carburetor off, kind of checked it over, made sure it's still doing carburetor things. Everything looks good all around. Everything is moving freely. The accelerator pump seems to be accelerating. So I'm going to bolt this thing on, see if I can get fuel pressure to it, make sure it doesn't leak. With the ignition turned off, I'm going to turn it over and hopefully it'll draw fuel pressure. Not this again. Crap, I may have to pull the spark plugs out just to do this. It is not turning very fast. No fuel pressure yet. Let's try again with no spark plugs. This again. All right, gotta go figure out what's going on with it. I wasn't getting any fuel pressure. Then I realized I've got a new leak at the regulator. As soon as I pressurized it, the regulator gasket blew out. So that's going to be a tomorrow Kris problem. I'm not going to get to fix that today. However, I am getting some fuel pressure up here despite the leak. So that's a good thing. I'll take that apart tomorrow and try to reseal it and give it another go. But everything is getting pressure up to here, and the only thing leaking is the regulator. That's good news. Oh, guess I better check the carburetor also. Carburetor bowls are filled right to the bottom of the side glass like they're supposed to be. The carburetor is not leaking internally. I think the carburetor is good to go. I'm excited. I'll fix up that regulator tomorrow and be ready to rock and roll. It's the next day. I had a bunch of other stuff to do, but I'm finally getting around to going to try to rebuild this Mallory fuel pressure regulator. The good news is that despite all its leaks and everything, you can see the system was still primed all the way up to the carburetor when I took this off. So despite leaking around this gasket area, the system is not drawing in air and bleeding off. So that's a good thing. I don't remember what this does. I think this screw is just blocking off vacuum. No gas appeared to be coming out of it, but I'm going to check it anyway, take it apart. This screw doesn't fit it anyway. It was just wedged in there to block it off. So hopefully a vacuum cap will just take care of that. Here's the regulator valve from inside the Mallory fuel pressure regulator. It is beyond shot. It was working for the most part, but it is cooked in here, as you can see. Weird thing is, there's no spring. There should be a spring down in here to push this back and to make this valve push it down to change pressure, but there's not. So I'm going to see if I can find an old spring off a different regulator or carburetor around here. I just happen to have an unopened fuel pressure regulator kit for a Holley fuel pressure regulator sitting around. The screw pattern and the bolt pattern is not the same. The diaphragm won't fit, but maybe the springs will. We'll try it. Neither Holley spring fit, of course, but this one gives it a little bit of rebound. Put that in there and it works a little. Let's see how that does when I put the lid on it. I had to trim that spring a few times and flip it upside down, but now it does springy fuel pressure regulator things. Maybe a little bit too springy. Might have trimmed that down a little more. The spring idea was not working. I guess there's a reason there's no spring in this thing. So I'm just going to put it back together and try to seal it up. That experiment failed, but oh well. Sealed it up. I'm going to let it cure for at least a day. Slap it back together and just hope for the best. While the fuel pressure regulator was all apart, I went ahead and made this little bracket for it. It's not very stable. It's not very well put together, but that's okay. It'll probably come apart and be put back together another 10 times before I'm done. It'll hold it for now. The last step today before we fire it up in the morning is filling up the radiator and checking for leaks. As always when testing a new cooling system, it's not if it leaks, it's where it leaks and how much. Wow, did I call that? It's already leaking. Holy crap, that's a lot. I guess this petcock valve was cracked open. Closed it, and the leaking seems to have stopped, so we're going to resume filling it up. Fill it up, boy!
The hose is not on, by the way.
Why didn't you turn on the hose?
Because you told me to turn it off.
So you're trying to fill it up without having turned it back on?
No, you just told me you got the hose.
Terrible! Filled up the radiator, took the upper radiator hose off and went ahead and filled up the upper intake. Nothing was leaking up here so far, but then I put a little bit of water in an overflow bottle just to have a little extra in there to suck up, and the overflow bottle is definitely leaking a whole lot. That's going to be a future Kris problem because that is not going to be a today fix, although I do need to stop that leak. Turns out that the overflow bottle wasn't actually leaking. I just sort of kind of forgot to put a hose clamp down there on the bottom. So got that fixed up, got a hose clamp on the top, got everything buttoned back up. Floor is still soaking wet, but I have not seen a new drop of water fall from anywhere in a couple of minutes. I think we're sealed up and ready to start the engine tomorrow. Plugs are in, the wires are on, everything is ready to rock and roll tomorrow. The cooling system is not dripping, which is shocking. I'm sure it will tomorrow. And the fuel system, oh yeah, I forgot about you. I was supposed to pressurize you and test you. Oh well, we'll figure you out tomorrow. It's finally time. The time has come. Time to try to fire this thing up. You know, I just realized why I'm so nervous about this one. It's been sitting so long. Yours, we did an engine swap in a day and tried to fire it up immediately. And it fired up and we worked on it and diagnosed it and got it to run correctly. But this thing's been sitting here so long and the nerves have built. You think it'll fire? What are the odds of it firing the first time?
5%.
You're a terrible person. I don't like you. Let's do it. It's the next day. No new leaks underneath the car, so everything that's got water in it so far is at least held. Let's see how it holds up to the pressure of turning over. Let's see what happens. Still not getting any fuel pressure. Oh man, not this again. We're clearly having an issue with the fuel pressure regulator again. It's got a leak down here at the threads again when it had stopped leaking. We've been turning it over for quite a while. The needle did just start moving just now, so we might be getting close to building pressure. This is just a whole lot of pumping to get it going. I have a feeling that my new gasket seal repair job on the fuel pressure regulator is kind of screwing things up. There is a little bit of fuel in the fuel bowls, so we've got a little bit of fuel. Might be enough to fire this thing up, and we have a leak right here all of a sudden out of the blue. Oh, this is going well. Give that accelerator pump a couple of shots, buddy. Yep. Oh, damn it. That's not good. I'm not sure why, but this needle and seat set screw is completely hand loose. I haven't touched it since it was driving on Junior's car, but that could be a problem. I think that's all it is. I don't think the gasket's blown. I think it was just backed out too much. Try it again. Hey, Chris, I'm going to feel really stupid, but would you go and see if the key is turned on in the ignition? Because the MSD doesn't have any power. That might be one of our problems.
No, it's not.
Turn it on.
There we go.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh my God.
Wait for me, wait for me.
Let's try it with ignition. Nope. Let's see if we're getting spark. Nope. The distributor may or may not have come disconnected and we didn't notice it. Still not sparking. We've suddenly run into a problem of the MSD not sparking. It's been working great lately, but it's got power. It's coming on when you turn on the power, but it's not sparking the coil. Now it's not registering on at all. Ah, crap. Using the voltmeter, we're getting 0 voltage to the coil now for some reason from the MSD box. We got 12.5 at the battery, 12.5 is going in the MSD, nothing is coming out. These aren't getting any voltage at all throughout the entire firing cycle. I'm not sure why. We're kind of at a loss here, so we're pulling the plugs, pulling the spark plug wires. We're going to see if we can get this thing to spin fast enough to build field pressure and maybe spark without the plugs in it, because it is turning over very slow despite there being a battery charger on it. So we're not sure what's going on. Let's see what happens when it turns with no plugs in it. Oh, for God's sake. Now we have good spark, good fuel pressure. After much experimentation, turned the timing over, and we finally got this thing to start sparking again. So we're going to go ahead and try to fire it for real. No joy. All right, go ahead and stop. Fire it again. Nope. No spark again. Don't understand it. Went ahead and pulled the distributor, reset number 1 to top dead center just in case I was that far off with the distributor. But we have got no spark again. Still no spark. Not even close there. This is getting embarrassing. The inside of our brand new coil is bubbling. That is bad. We're going to swap that out. We're going to take an intermission to change out the coil and swap out the battery and try to charge up this battery on Junior's car while it runs. We've changed out coils to a known good coil. We've got a fresh battery in. My battery is on Junior's car charging with the alternator. His battery's in here. It's turning over cleaner and smoother and faster. But we're still not getting any spark, and we're not sure why. We've got good voltage, and we're getting a good turnover, but the MSD is not powering up. Turn the distributor. Getting nothing out of the MSD box. Now we're getting an MSD signal, a little. Here, you fire it. I'm going to turn the distributor. Go ahead. Nope. Stop. At the suggestion of my buddy Johnny, we are taking another battery, hooking this directly up to here with jumper cables. I'm going to try it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. All right, it's spinning fast enough now. I just got to get the timing right. Go ahead, buddy. All right, stop. All right, the MSD's firing. We got fuel pressure. The MSD says it's firing. It's just a matter of getting it timed, I think. We're almost there. Go ahead, buddy. Dang it. Just confirmed using the wrench method that we definitely have good spark. So, should be any minute now. Fire it again, Kris. Oh! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Stop it. So close, almost. Got the choke open a little bit. Try it again, Kris. Come on, baby. Damn it. Stop. Go ahead. Right there, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah! Whoa! Let go of it. Let go of it.
Oh, I see.
One more time.
See the dust cloud back there?
Yep, one more time. Let it go. Oh, dang it. All right, try it again. Ow, that was loud. Fire it up again, Kris. It's idling! It's idling! Yes! Whoa! That's an idle. The rockers need adjusted a little, I think. Oh, the carburetor's stuck a little. Yeah, the carburetor's sticking a little. Sat around too long. All right. Good oil pressure. Yes. Hey, buddy. Good job, Kris. Just a little bit smoky in here. Just a little, not a whole lot. Hey, the water temperature started coming up. So our water temperature gauge is working. Excellent. All things are coming up Green Hill for the first time in a while. We had some rattling that sounds like it's the rockers misadjusted. We're going to try tightening them 1/8 of a turn since they're only set at 1/8 instead of 1/4. And then after we do that, we're going to start it back up and try to set timing. Junior's adjusting the rest of the rockers. We found a couple that are just loose, just really loose. So hopefully that's what all that sound was, and it'll sound good this next time we fire it up. We're going to see what it sounds like now and try to set the timing. Oh, much better. Sounds beautiful. Yes. Perfect. That's what it was. Good job, Christopher. Now we got some cam chop. Sounds perfect. Cam sounds amazing. The acoustics in here aren't very good, but the cam sounds great. I noticed the camera doesn't pick it up well. I had to turn it off. It started running hot. It got up to 200 degrees, and I'm just not going to tolerate anything on a brand new engine during break-in. So we may have to let it cool off, and it may only have half a load of water in it. We forgot to top off the radiator again as we were warming it up. Yeah, thermostat is not opening at all. That's going to be a problem. This is down here is ice cold, completely empty. Brand new thermostat in that thing. Dang it. We're going to fire it up one more time. Going to fill up the radiator all the way again. We're going to see if it'll draw some water, see if it'll cycle the thermostat and cool the engine. 16 degrees base timing. Come on, baby. You fire it. I'm going to play with the carburetor. Go ahead. There we go. Just need a little bump. It just sounds so good back here. Yes. Looks like the thermostat finally opened. Good oil pressure. Good idling temperature. It's been idling for a couple of minutes. Project White Trash is alive. We just discovered there is engine oil all over the ground under here, underneath the car. I just happened to glance under here to check the radiator, which is not leaking. Found a huge puddle of oil. We've got to try to find the source. The weird thing is I don't see anything coming from up. I don't know where this came from. I'm not seeing a source. I see a couple of drops coming from the back of this oil pan. I see a little bit on the bell housing right there, but I can't tell. Yeah, it's coming up from in the bell housing somewhere. Oh man, I hope that's not a blown rear main seal. I use so much caution with it, putting it in, and we've never had a problem with Juniors. That almost has to be what it is. Got a little bit of oil coming down the side of the bell housing here. So I went and checked the upper intake manifold, and everything is dry up there. Just so weird that it's coming, appears to be coming from here and dripping this way. There's signs of oil over here on the side of the head, on these head bolts. We're thinking maybe just the valve cover gasket is leaking or something, but that is a ton of oil for a valve cover gasket. We're going to cinch it back down a little better and go from there and see if we can find where the oil's coming from. There is oil all over this motor mount also. I cannot get in there with the naked eye to see where it's coming from, but hoping and praying it's just these valve cover gaskets, but There's oil on the head by the spark plugs, but it doesn't look like it's coming from the valve cover gasket. This is bizarre. The valve cover gasket looks good all the way around. I don't think that's the source of our oil. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any oil going underneath it or over it. This valve cover gasket looks good. We have some fresh cardboard on the ground, clean cardboard. We're going to fire this up, see if we can find any leaks anywhere. Junior, you said off camera a minute ago, what gaskets are notorious for overheating and blowing oil?
Head gaskets.
Head gaskets. I hope not. I'd never had a head gasket do that much damage before without massive overheating, but we're fired up to see what we can find. We don't have any breather caps or PCV system or anything like that on this engine, so I'm going to take this off and just see if that makes any difference. A little crankcase ventilation. That's it. We are done for the day. We cooked our batteries. The batteries are reading low voltage and we can't get them to fire anymore, so calling it a day. Alright, well that's it. We're done. We cooked our batteries. We can't continue, but it's late in the afternoon and we've got family events to do today, so we're going to call it quits, but I'm excited. I'm happy. You know what? That little oil leak, whatever. I'll fix that later in the coming weeks, but nothing's going to dampen my spirits today. I got to hear my engine fire. My car had an engine in it running for the first time in 26 years. I couldn't be happier, so it was a good day. I'm really happy. Everything was little minor things like the radiator, the thermostat, the rockers need adjusting. It sounds amazing. I'm disappointed in my camera. It does not pick up the sound, but it sounds great. Cannot express how happy I am. So, good job, Chris. Excellent work, buddy. He did so much of this, it's unreal. In the coming weeks, I'm going to get tires on it, put wheels back on it, test the brakes, test the clutch, test the transmission, try to get the oil to quit leaking, whatever's wrong with it, and try to get it ready to move. We got some garage cleaning to do, and hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be driving this thing out of the garage under its own power, using the clutch, using the starter, all that stuff. Alternator. So thank you for watching. We very much appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.